Hi, I am the Fantasy Commissioner here doing a little AFL update. Just probably, I'm hoping 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the most on this stream. Just kind of bringing up a few things that are going to be coming up here in the next coming weeks. A few things that have gone down. Also going to give a AFL update, or I'm sorry, ABL update, the basketball version of the football league. Because we've had some things happen there. Obviously, there's with all the coronavirus, all of the sporting events themselves have been shut down. So there's just how we're going to handle the league going forward, obviously. But first, I kind of want to jump into a test. And I tried this in the last stream, and I think I got the kinks figured out. And the test is simply I want to be able to show you the screen I'm looking at. Um, So this is for upcoming streams, particularly the April 18th, which is going to be a NFL draft preview. We're going to do a mock draft. We're actually going to use Skype, bring in some video conferencing, obviously with all of the COVID-19. We're all locked down. Can't have people come in here, obviously, until this is all done, which we're all praying is very, very soon. Um, Praying for all the individuals out there, obviously, that have it, and praying for everyone else that they just don't get it. So nasty, nasty stuff. Um, but as far as the stream on April 18th, the plan hopefully is to have, obviously, myself will be it. We're hoping we can have Jimmy Chase. That's not confirmed yet. We're also hoping to have Mark Thompson and Guy Conkey. What we're looking to do with that stream is we're going to break down some of the top players in the 2020 NFL draft, which will be the following week. We're also each going to do our own personal mock draft, um, and then we'll go from there. Also break down some of that. Look at possible potential for fantasy value in some of those individuals. Um, Also, a stream that's going to happen now is April 23rd. I'm going to do a live NFL draft stream. What's going to happen there is I'm going to do the similar thing where we're going to have the Skype going. Tony Mize is hoping to join us for that one. Also, um, hoping we can get Guy Conkey, though he said he possibly won't be able to participate in that one. Hoping for Jimmy Chase and hoping for Mark Thompson also. Um, um, and reached out to a few other individuals. Some people are. It's kind of tight with the way things are going right now, so very understandable. But what we're going to do with those streams is, as the NFL draft is taking place after every single pick, all the individuals involved, we're going to look at those players picked and basically look at their fantasy value on whatever team they actually end up on. So hopefully that'll be a educational experience for more than just the people in the AFL. And that's kind of what the stream on the 18th will also be. Is hopefully it'll be informational for those in any kind of fantasy league that may be watching the Fantasy Commissioner right now or in the future. So right now, I do want to quick take a look at some trades that took place, and right now I'm going to try a screen change. So let's see what we got here. So right now, I'm hoping that you're looking at my screen. I have some of the trades that have taken place. Some we've already gone over in a previous um, stream with Jimmy Chase. These were all the 2020 trades that have taken place. We're going to start with the first one there. Obviously, all these we've gone over, so I'm just kind of scrolling here on my screen. I know that one we covered. That one we covered. Number 5 was covered. 6 was covered. 7, 8, 8. Yes, 8 was covered. 9 was not. 9 took place after, and that one consists of Rich Nillette and myself did a trade. In the deal, he gets running back Benny Snell from Pittsburgh, who was a rookie in 2019. He also gets a 2020 fifth round pick, which is actually my pick. And then I received running back Jordan Howard and his 2020 14th round pick. From there, we got a trade, which actually was our league's first ever 3-team deal. Um, Nick Ritz um, is going to receive Tony's 2020 first round pick. Well, he's actually getting his first round pick back, but it belonged to Tony, which was a 2020 first round pick, 16th overall, and he got quarterback Mitchell Trubisky for me. Tony in the deal received um, my second round pick in 2020, which was 13th overall. He also received tight end Hunter Henry, running back Jordan Howard, and wide receiver Allen Hurns. And then in this deal, I received Nick's 2020 sixth round pick, tight end OJ Howard, running back Ronald Jones, and wide receiver Brandon Cooks from Tony. Then Tony went and made a deal to acquire quarterback Philip Rivers and a fourth round pick in 2020 from Anthony Sykes, who got quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo and a second round pick, which is in 2020, which is the 13th overall. Um, and then Tony, the deal master that he is, went and made a deal with Rich, and he acquired in that deal wide receiver Paris Campbell, and then a 14th round pick, which was the 14th overall from Rich, and then Rich receives wide receiver Josh Gordon and Tony's 13th round pick. And then as of 4/9, which was yesterday, obviously, oh, within the last really 6 hours this took place, I did two deals. First, I did one with Efren, and Efren received quarterback Jared Goff and a 2020 third round pick, the second overall in that round. And I received Efren's 2020 first round pick, which is 12th overall. And then Ross and I did a deal. Ross gets wide receiver Brandon Cooks, running back Ronald Jones, a 2020 second round pick, 16th overall, and a 2021 first round pick. I received a 2020 pick in the first round, which is the 8th overall pick in the draft, and a 2021 second round pick. Uh, with all these deals, obviously, a lot's going on. I mean, you can tell Tony is completely trying to change a team around, trying to better it, trying to make it very, very competitive for the 2020 season. Um, in my opinion, he has done that. I look at Anthony Sykes right here. I just happen to look at Anthony. Anthony's made his team better. I can tell you this. When you look at the Northern Division, um, Nick Ritz, it's the playing field's leveled out. It's not going to be Nick rolling over the competition. He's got three teams along with Nick Ergang, whose team is better, whose team is going to get better because he's got the sixth overall pick, and this is one of the most loaded drafts we have ever had from a rookie standpoint. You're looking at three teams in that division that are all going to compete 100% with Nick. And in all honesty, I would not be surprised if we have a new division winner this year in the Northern Division. Let's see what other trade now. The deals I've made, obviously, I've made some very interesting deals, giving away my quarterback, um, the quarterback I've had the last couple of years. Um, I'm not going to get into this too much. Obviously, don't want to give any draft strategy away. Let's just say this: I have a plan, and this plan may backfire on me. I don't know. A lot's dependent, obviously, on these first round picks I have, but I believe I'll make the best of them, and hoping to get my fourth division championship in the East, and then with a little bit of luck, hopefully, maybe I'll be getting my first championship. But Um, in Efren's case, I'm just looking at Efren right now here. Efren, he's had Matt Ryan, who's been his guy, literally his guy since day one. Um, and then he also drafted James Winston. Now Winston's been had moments for him, but with the Tom Brady going to Tampa, Jameis Winston doesn't have a home as of right now. And even if he does get a home, it's looking like he's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon as a starter. Um, of course, I could be wrong on that, but um, more than likely, Jameis Winston is going to have to be a backup. Now, Ross just required Brandon Cooks. Now, Brandon Cooks just got traded today to the Texans to replace DeAndre Hopkins, who Ross also owns. Um, so Ross is going to have a very stacked receiving core. Um, but this deal for me is going to be something that I kind of came up with about a week ago. Um, got a player in my head I'm hoping to get, and I believe he's going to be available at this position. We'll find out um, come August 29th. Um, so I'm hoping that I didn't just talk to you and you were looking at me because I'm looking at my screen. I wasn't looking at the camera. So we're going to kick out of this screen right now. And now I'm going to transition over to the Skype. Just temporary, just very, very briefly. I want to see if this will work. So right now, you should hopefully be looking at the Skype screen. If you're not, if you're looking at me or whatever you're looking at, I'm going to find out obviously when I go back and watch this video. Um, so that's that. I'm going to kick right now back to myself. And there we go. Hopefully this has all been a productive presentation. A few other things I wanted to cover um, is we have some good things going. We have some interesting things that are becoming forward with the 2020 AFL Hall of Fame class. I'm not going to elaborate too much on it yet, but let's just say we have a committee has been put together. I will not be solely selecting the players that go in, and we're also adding another. Um, let's just call it we're adding a senior committee. We're not really senior. We're not adding a senior committee. We're going to be adding a senior grouping, um, and more to come on that in the future. But we're hoping what's going to happen with our tongue twister with our Hall of Fame is we're going to get a good balance of current players from the modern day and players that have never been in our league. I guess I'm just basically telling you right now what's going on. So we're going to add um, players that, because the rule has always been you had to have played since the 2014 season. And I started really thinking about it. I'm like, well, I want to honor the past, especially with this past year was the 100th season. Um, this year marks actually the 100th year. September 17th, 2020 will mark 100 years that the NFL was actually formed. So it was my way of putting together. So the 2020 class is going to consist of this. It's going to consist of one owner, which was already voted at our meeting. That will be named, of course, August 29th at our draft. Um, and it's going to consist of 9 players, which will be voted on by the Hall of Fame committee. Um, and that'll also, of course, be named come August 29th. And then for the 2020 season, we're going to add 10 senior committee, which will consist of any player um, that was never in our league, essentially any player that retired before 2014. And coaches will also be included in that. And that can be any coach but they have to be retired. Um, so for the 2020 year, we're going to actually put in a class of 20. Now going forward, how that's going to change is in 2021, we're going to put one owner in again. We'll have 2 senior committee players going in and 7 AFL modern era players. Um, So that's that. Um, I'm just looking at my sheet here because I wrote down some of the stuff I wanted to cover, and like I said, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. Um, okay, so the ABL, which is the basketball league, a little bit of news on that. Um, so obviously, right now the NBA season is on a standstill because of the COVID-19. Not sure what's happening with basketball coming back. There's been talk of the season starting up again once this is all done. There's also been talk of no more regular season, and they'll go right to the NBA playoffs, and they'll actually do more or less a tournament with everyone in it, kind of like an NCAA style tournament. Um, so basically, here's what's going to happen. If the regular season comes back, our season fires right back up. However, they have it set up. So we might go right into playoffs. I don't know. A lot of it's all about how Yahoo decides to do it. But if if they go right to an NBA playoff and the regular season is canceled, um, and this is my opinion, I don't know this for fact until this happens. My opinion is then Yahoo will basically close out the season. If that happens, then we our first champion will be whoever the current number one team is. So right now that is Jordan Briggs sits in the number one position. Jesse Roberts sits in the number two position, and myself sits in the number three position. The interesting part of this is Jordan and I are actually tied. Jordan holds the tiebreaker over me. We're in the same division. That's how it breaks down. Um, so if the season was not to fire up, Jordan Briggs would be the 2019 2020 um, ABL champion, the first ever champion of our league. Also, so a little bit more information here. Um, we have three teams. Well, Guy Conkey, he stepped down earlier, middle of the season, and Kyle Sykes took over for that franchise, and we're looking forward to having him going forward. He actually drafted for Anthony Sykes' team, um, and that team has been doing pretty well. Um, but we have had also three more owners have decided that they are not going to continue going forward. Um, and that is Brady Bailey has decided that he is not going to come back for the 2020-2021 season. Alexandra Miller is not going to come back, and Elliot Potts has chosen not to come back. Now, here's how we're handling those. It's going to be no different than how we do the AFL. Um, so I go out, reach out to individuals that I'm trying to add to our league. Um, and I've already reached out to one individual, which actually turns into two individuals. Uh, it's a father-son duo. It's going to take over one of the three teams, and they're taking over Elliot's team going forward. Um, well, once the season's done, they're taking over. They're going to take Elliot's going to finish out this year. They're taking over the 2020-2021 season, and that is Nate Tripp and his son uh, Nate Tripp. So I actually got to ask him if one goes specifically by Nathaniel or if one goes just by Junior or whatever. But Nate Senior and I actually went to high school together. We're good friends. Played football together. I know we did some intramural basketball together. Definitely played some basketball out at Spring Lake Central Park back in the mid '90s. Um, and Nate's actually currently the New Buffalo High School varsity coach, and I know his son Junior, um, also plays basketball at New Buffalo. So we're definitely welcome them. We're hoping that they get a good experience out of this going forward. Nate's been someone that I've been trying to get in the basketball from day one, and he has a strong commitment to his varsity team, and he wants to make them the very best possible. And having his son be a part of it, So I guess in a lot of ways, I'm going to compare this basically to Raymond for the AFL. Raymond is the owner, and Brady is the GM. So I think um, that's how it's probably going to go. It's going to be senior is going to be the owner, and junior is going to be the GM, making all the decisions, the drafting, and all that. But I know he was looking forward that to doing that with his son, and that's what we're all about is having fun here in all our both our leagues. So again, welcome Trip family to the ABL. Uh, oh, and then the other two teams. Couple ways I'm going to handle that. Um, there are some individuals I'm still looking at reaching out to. So there's two scenarios that are going to happen. Either both teams are going to get replaced with ownership, or those two franchises, so it'd be Brady and Alex's franchises in the basketball, are going to become defunct. So if that happens, then that's just a whole bunch of more players that are going to be in our draft next year. So then next year, so the 2020 2021 season, we would run with just 10 teams. Again, I am trying to fill those two spots. We'll see if that happens or not. Uh, and one thing I try to do is I try to be very selective in who I get. I want to try to get someone that's going to fit in with everyone, um, and then just be a good part of the league. And then also we'll have to have a set a keeper date for that league, which originally was going to be August 1st, but it's going to depend now. I mean, it could be September 1st. We are keep. I don't know. It's gonna everything's gonna depend on how basketball goes. Um, so from there, we'll have to at some point have a league meeting to break down all the scoring and all the other things that have to go on. Um, so we have a successful 20. Basically, if for those from the football league, um, the original the originals from the football league remember um, we had that was a very big meeting. We sat down. We basically broke everything down, all scoring, every aspect of our league. And that's going to happen. One thing that is going to happen in the ABL is I do want to have a one-day waiver. There was obviously an incident that happened, um, and it was very controversial. I don't want to get too many parts of it, but uh, if we had had the one-day waiver wire for the basketball league, um, then that situation would not have taken place. So uh, obviously, football does not have a waiver wire. There's no intent to have a waiver wire, but it's just a preventative thing. Hopefully, that what happened will never happen again. So with that, I think everyone's loving the basketball league that's been a part of it. I know I certainly have enjoyed everyone have been able to play against. They're all great individuals. Um, Obviously, Tony Mize, and who else have I not mentioned? Anthony Sykes, Jesse. Well, I already mentioned Jesse Roberts, but Jesse Roberts, Martin Garcia, Chris Hernandez, um, Jordan Briggs. We got Ethan Binge, and I know I'm missing someone, and it's not myself. Obviously, we are very grateful to have Elliot Potts and Alexander Miller and Brady Bailey be a part of the league, and would have liked to have them going forward, but understand that they were all three were first time um, fantasy owners, period. And this it was something that wasn't for them as much. They just not as much interest, and that happens sometimes, unfortunately. But for example, with Elliot, I know he loves basketball. He does. He loves playing basketball, and that's the thing. As Elliot told me, he goes he wants the ball in his hand. He doesn't want to have to control someone else with the ball. So with that, I'm going to end the stream actually to go a little bit longer than I wanted to, but again, join us April 18th. I don't have a confirmed time at this time. My guess is going to be somewhere probably afternoon. I have to get with Guy and Mark and Jimmy and find out exactly what time is going to work for those individuals. And so with that, I'm going to be signing off here. And I want to thank you for watching the stream. Always watching the stream. Please subscribe, to the stream. It always helps out so that you can get direct links when I go live. I always do live streams. And have a good night, and we'll see you next Saturday, the 18th. Take care. Be safe out there.